Is this your Lamborghini?
It is my Lamborghini.
And what do you do for a living to be able to afford a Lamborghini out in Dallas?
I am a professional athlete. I play in the NFL.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
38 in 1 year.
$38 million. Is this your G-Wagon, though?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living?
You're going to go right into
No.
it anyway. See, he's good. He's good.
What do you do for a living?
I work for a private equity company.
What was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
About 10 million, I think.
$10 million. And how long have you been a business owner for?
About 18 years now.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, I have, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time where I worked in a store and I didn't have enough food to eat. So when no one was in the break room, I went in the refrigerator and I took a little bit out of everybody else's lunch, just enough so that they wouldn't notice, but enough so that I would have something to eat.
How can somebody become a millionaire in 2024? Highland Park in Dallas, Texas is the #6 wealthiest city in the entire United States. And if you've ever been to Dallas, you never know who you're gonna run into out here. And today I'm gonna be going all over Highland Park asking multi-millionaires what they did for a living to become millionaires and how you can start your path to becoming financially free in 2024. So with that being said, let's get this video on the way. Is this your Lamborghini?
It is my Lamborghini.
And what do you do for a living to be able to afford a Lamborghini out in Dallas?
I'm retired.
What did you do? What industry did you pursue a career in?
Supply chain.
Were you a business owner?
I was a business owner.
How long were you an entrepreneur for?
40 years.
40 years. Over those 40 years, what's the greatest lesson about entrepreneurship you learned that you pass on to someone about to start their first business?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. How important is it to keep your word in business?
You don't keep your word in business, you have no business.
And what was your secret to sales, right? Selling in a competitive industry like supply chain.
Be honest.
Be honest.
This isn't my only Lamborghini. I have 3.
You have to. I guess over these 40 years, what was the most amount of money that your business generated?
A lot.
Could you give me a range? 8 in figures?
Yeah.
What
Big
was
business.
the best financial advice that you received from a mentor?
You follow me into this space and I'll tell you. I'll tell you 2 things. The first one is be an expert about what you're talking about. Don't be a fool who listens to internet. Do your research, do your homework, and know more than anybody else knows. And you can build an incredible career on very little money because I did it twice.
Now, what was your secret to scaling, right? Like, how did you take your business from 7 to 8 figures?
Finding a way to manage money. Don't be the bank.
And have you ever been broke before?
Twice.
What was the turning point like for you? How did you escape poverty and how did you break that cycle?
Be tougher than poverty.
One last one for you.
And be hungry.
How old are you now?
70.
What's one lesson about business you would give to somebody that they won't learn in business school?
Standing out is the most important thing. AI is going to replace commonality. You got to use your brain. You got to be creative. You got to be inventive. You got to find another angle in. Don't do the same things.
Right. I love it, man.
See you, man.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. All I'm going to say is that's got to be one of the craziest experiences that I've ever had running this channel. My guy we went up to him in the Lamborghini and he said, if you want to ask me questions, you got to ask him right here. He ended up wanting to do the interview and he just dropped some amazing value and advice for everybody out there. I love that he said, keep your word. If you don't have your word, you have nothing in this world of business. Great interview, man. Let's go get this next one, man. Dallas is going to go crazy. So cool if I ask you a few questions for the channel?
I would love to, man, but I have an appointment I got to go into before.
Is this your G-Wagon, though?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living?
You're going to go right into
No.
it anyway. See, he's good. He's good.
What do you do for a living?
I work for a private equity company.
What does it take to stand out in the business world today? Leave me with a couple pieces of advice and then that's it, man.
Nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
Nothing comes overnight. And be patient.
How important was that delayed gratification for you, man? A lot of people, they want it instantly. They want to get rich quick.
You got to trust your path. Like I said, nothing happens easy. I think the problem today is when I see young guys get into finance, everyone expects to have something overnight, right?
Right.
And that doesn't come that way.
As somebody in private equity, when it comes to the way that people look at money, what's the number one thing in your opinion that separates the middle class from those who end up building that long-term wealth like yourself?
I think people today buy things that they can't afford. I mean, look at Instagram, for example. I mean, it's good for the platform you guys are doing, but I think in today's world, everyone sees things that they don't necessarily know the truth of everyone's situation, and they expect that whatever they see is how they need to be living. You live your own life. For instance, this year I got off all social media, so I won't even see this interview unless someone sends it to me.
What was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
If this is going public, I don't want to answer
Did you say
that.
like just like a range maybe? Or like 7 figures, 8 figures?
Yeah, it was seven.
You're in private equity. What's the best industry people should be looking to get into right now? You're in the money business.
I think everybody's looking for a get-rich-quick scheme nowadays. You know, just go to school, learn from somebody. It all ties together, right? Go learn from somebody that's done it, but understand that while you're learning, you're not going to make what that person has, and then take that knowledge and go do it. But I do got to run now. You're a very good interviewer,
Thank
man.
you. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one, bro. I appreciate you.
Good, man. You're relentless.
Yes,
You're
sir.
good.
I appreciate you. So we just put up on my guy coming out of the G-Wagon, heading to a meeting. You know I had to stop him to get some game. It turns out he became a private equity multimillionaire out here in Dallas, Texas. But he just laid out the blueprint for you guys, man. Find experts. Find the most successful people that you can, learn everything you can from them, go apply and execute. And what did he say? In order to build something great, in order to do great things, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. Great things take sacrifice, and they take time as well. Great interview, man. Let's go get this next one. I go all over the country, but I'm based in Austin, just asking people a few quick questions on their best advice to the younger generation of kids coming out of school. Love to ask you just a few quick questions for the channel. Is that cool? Cool. Can we
Really
do it real quick? What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Restaurant business?
You're a business owner.
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been a business owner for?
About 10 years,
And how many restaurants do you own?
5,
What's the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
about 10 millions, I think.
$10 million. And how did you scale your business
And
from?
if I tell you in what, it's just in tacos.
Yeah.
Tacos is a really big.
You said tacos.
Yes, sir.
Really?
Tacos, yes, sir.
How
That's
did-
what we do. We not even have like big restaurants.
Yeah.
You should come to my business and you're gonna be what we do.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yes, sir. I used to sleep in the parking lots.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What was that turning point like for you? Like, how did you know you wanted to get really serious about becoming financially free?
Well, I think when you broke, it make you think different, you know?
Why?
Because what are you gonna lose? Like me, I was not gonna lose anything if I tried whatever. You know what I mean? I was already in the ground. So what else?
Right.
It just whatever you do, you just go forward. You know what I mean?
For somebody who may be at rock bottom right now, what's an actionable step that they can really take to get their life back on track?
Well, the first thing is you need to have God in your heart. I think it's a really important, and I know maybe it sounds kind of crazy, but you gotta have God in your heart. And whenever you have God in your heart, everything is gonna come to your life by themselves. Be honest with you, because I've been in the streets and nothing it was happening. So as soon as I put God in my heart, it's when I see the difference.
Now, how do you stand out in business, right? Like a lot of people, there's a lot of restaurants, a lot of people selling food, right?
Let me tell you by my story. My wife and I, we start inside of the gas station. It was just her, me, and one guy. And then from there, we just start to today. We have 5 locations, and I have, I think, between 85 to 100 employees. So, like I'm saying, you just gotta push hard, and then everything is gonna happen by themselves.
Did you go to college?
No, sir.
Why not?
I don't know if you wanna say that, but
Yeah, go for it. Say it.
are you sure?
Tell 'em.
Okay.
Let 'em know.
Well, I have a different opinion for a school, but especially like if you really want to be a business guy, I think it's no school to teach you business. I met a guy who was a teacher for I think 30 to 40 years, and he never had a business. How you gonna be teaching me like my teacher? You never have a business, you know?
Yeah.
So my kids wanna be in school for business, but I was like, if you really wanna be a business guy, you gotta be on my side. You gotta wake up early. Don't matter how much money you have. It don't matter how many business you have. You still need to work hard.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
So I work as a security for this property. This is private property management. Last thing you stop doing interviews and just leave.
All right, you guys. So we had just finished up that last interview with my guy that did $10 million across his restaurant businesses, and they just told us to leave, man. Otherwise, that they may have to charge us with criminal trespassing. But all I gotta say is they don't know the mission behind this channel, and we're trying to bring you guys some of the best advice from some of the most successful people in the entire world. So by any means necessary, we're gonna keep this video going in Highland Park, man. We're gonna have to be careful. It's not gonna be easy now, but all I gotta say is some of the best advice that I ever got that I'm gonna give to you is take the risk or lose the chance. We're not going anywhere. Let's keep this video going. Come on, man. What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
How do I explain this? I'm a pro athlete. All I've ever wanted to do in my whole entire life is be a pro athlete, and I'll play for the Buffalo Bills.
Throughout your career, like what has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
I got my baby mama over there. Let me see. 38 in 1 year.
$38 million. That is incredible.
Yep.
And let me ask you this, what's been the best financial advice that you've ever received throughout your career?
Save bread. Like, save bread. I'm a huge proponent of just saving bread until the timing is right. The trick is to make it sustainable over a long period of time. Mike Tyson went through $400 million. Like, you hear these horror stories all the time.
What are you doing to preserve that wealth?
Save bread. Yeah. Save bread, don't spend it. I mean, it's Valentine's Day, so we spend a little bread today. But save bread, hold on to it, and just wait for the right circumstances. Of course, you got to have the education, financial education. At the same time, save bread until you get there.
You made it to the NFL, the National Football League, one of the highest honors in all of sports. 99.9% of people that pick up a football don't never make it to that professional level. What was it that you did that separated you, man, enabled you to get to the National Football League?
I think I always possessed the ability to evolve. It was always people that was better than me. It was always people that was stronger, faster. I just was resilient, and I think still to this day I still possess that quality, just resiliency, and I think that carries me in my professional career and in my personal life as well.
Now, you've had longevity, I'd say over 10 years now in the National Football League.
14.
It seems like 14 years. A lot of people, maybe they'll stay in for 2-3 years. What was the secret to that longevity, being able to stay in the game for that long?
Honestly, man, it's a little bit of God's grace too. I can't sit here and say that I did this all on my own. There was a lot of stuff that divine intervention just, got me in and got me out of a lot of stuff and kept me healthy. But at the same time, my job is to make sure my body's ready to go, and not only physically but mentally. I'm a huge proponent in mental health and self-awareness, and I think all of those things have been tools to get me where I'm at today.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you, man, Von. All right, you guys. So we just interviewed Von Miller. For those of you who don't know, that is one of the greatest linebackers of all time. He's one of the best football players that's ever played in the NFL, and he made $38 million in a single year. And what did he say was the best financial advice that he ever received? Was to save bread. A lot of people, they'll sign massive contracts and they'll go broke because they don't know what to do with that money. So not only do you have to save it, but you got to make it work for you, man. Great interview. Shout out to Von. Shout out to Dallas. This video just keeps getting even more insane. Let's go get this next interview, man. Come on, guys. How long have you been a business owner for?
Oh, let's see, about 18 years now.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
$500,000?
$500,000.
Yeah.
And that's for yourself.
And that's just that's just me.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, I have, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time where I worked in a store and I didn't have enough food to eat. So when no one was in the break room, I went in the refrigerator and I took a little bit out of everybody else's lunch, just enough so that they wouldn't notice, but enough so that I would have something to eat.
What was that turning point like for you? Like, how did you know that you wanted to get really serious about becoming financially free and starting to build that wealth? What was the turning point like?
That's a good question. I would have to say I had a lot of older friends growing up, and I watched them really closely. And a lot of times I would, I guess, just be envious of what they were doing, but still scared of taking the chances that they were taking, but that's the only way you do it.
How old are you now?
I am 63.
How important is it to take a risk at an early age?
Oh, it's very important. I think the biggest risks that you take early on are the ones that are really going to pay off, and really nobody really meets their full potential unless they take risks early on.
Now let me ask you, what was the biggest risk that you took throughout your career?
I think stepping out on my own and not being content with a paycheck from a big company and working really hard just so that they could succeed. Right. I think the biggest risk I've taken is taking all the nervousness that I had about it and just said, nope, we're doing it or we'll regret it the rest of our lives.
Right. How can somebody become a millionaire in 2024?
Really be willing to make sacrifices, work hard, don't show off, be honest. I think honesty is the biggest thing. And don't be afraid to reach out to people also. I think the people that I have seen that have really struggled the most are the people that are afraid to pick up a phone or to call on somebody that they've worked with in the past and get advice from them or get some kind of support from them.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
You got great advice. Really appreciate you. Man, you guys, this has got to be one of the wildest videos that we've ever done at the School of Hard Knocks. Dallas, Texas is crazy. You never know who you're going to run into out there. But I want you to like and subscribe for amazing content on the way coming very soon, because we're on a mission to bring you guys the best advice from some of the most successful entrepreneurs and business owners in the entire world. And I have a very special announcement to make. We just launched the Hard Knocks newsletter, where we're going to be sending out weekly updates, insights, and lessons from the world's top entrepreneurs in every industry. You're not going to miss it. So subscribe now. The link is in the description below. Go subscribe to the Hard Knocks newsletter. With that being said, we'll see you guys in the next video. Click here to watch our full video going all over Miami, asking luxury yacht owners how they became wealthy and how you can start your path to becoming financially free in 2024.